Want to take your capabilities up to the next level, but you just don't know how? Want to get those higher parses, but you seem to struggle a little bit? Don't even know how to tank on the old sorting board in the first place? Well, ladies and gentlemen, you came to the right place. My name is SoulSaint, and this is A Knight's Path to Pally.
I have waited forever.
Paladin has changed since its iteration from previous expansions, dating all the way back to A Realm Reborn. Once known as a class with no mobility in A Realm Reborn to utility-oriented tank class specifics in Heavensward and Stormblood, the Paladin has always been, at best, maybe second place. That is until now. With new abilities like Intervene, Confiteor, and passes that allow you to use already established abilities more optimally, the Paladin has become a powerhouse that is to be reckoned with. There are two things that you need to keep in mind when we're talking about the rotations or in any class specifically. But for Paladin, there are what I call global cooldowns and off global cooldowns. These are both skills and abilities that you're going to be using throughout the entire duration of a fight, and the ability to use them in conjunction with each other is what I call weaving. The ability to weave skills and keep your global cooldowns on cooldown without clipping, which is when one ability takes too long for it to be executed before the other set of abilities are ready to be in use, is what we call clipping. Now, keeping in mind, we'll go over a list of what each one of those skills are going to be, and I'll have them displayed on the screen here for you guys to keep in mind. Some of the new ones that we will have to deal with, and I won't bother over the details of each skill, but rather what's new for Paladin going into Shadowbringers and how they can be used. These are the main big changes. No more Rage of Alone. Aggro is now built in with Shield Dose a little bit more appropriately, making aggro no longer an issue, which nixes that ability altogether. The Royal Authority combo now integrates a sword buff, allowing you to use 3 atonements, a new skill by the way, within 15 seconds at any point in that window. More on this is coming later. We got new passes such as an instant cast spell passive, which now comes with whenever using Holy Spirit, Holy Circle, any type of casted ability for the Paladin inside the Requiescat combo. That's really great. And then also Intervene, which is my new personal favorite with the Paladin. You get into a tough pickle and you need to get out of there, and you need to find a way to close that gap just a little bit more to keep uptime in some capacity. That is the best way to close that. When starting a fight, it is recommended that you start with a countdown. I myself do personally 15 seconds to allow everyone the opportunity to prepare to engage the fight. During this countdown, at around the second mark, you will want to cast 1 Holy Spirit while being close enough to the boss so that you can immediately rush the boss with an Intervene. Gat closes are awesome, right? You will immediately follow that up with a Fast Blade, and if parsing, weave a Strength Potion for your opener. On GCD, you will then follow up with a Riot Blade. Weaving, you'll cast Fight or Flight buff, then follow up with Circle of Storm. Now pause. Why 2 weaves immediately? Well, hold tight. The reason will come up soon. You're going to hit a Goring Blade to ensure that you have done the dot on the boss. This is important to maintain on the boss at all times. Then you will go into the Royal Authority combo. Now here's where the weaving becomes important and also situational. If you do not have the need to use a gap closer in the immediate future, then use an Intervene in between your GCDs during a fight or flight window, as this enhances the damage that your Intervene can cause. The goal here is to make sure that you have your Intervenes on a timer, meaning that you're not sitting on 2 Intervenes for no reason. Besides being utility for moving, it is also a damage off GCD ability, so abuse it when you can. Once you hit your Royal Authority attack, you will have the buff to use 3 atonements within 15 seconds. Now this ability, although it can be used at any time within those 15 seconds, it's important to note that it's not a skill that can be used in between combos such as the Goring Blade combo or the Royal Authority combo. Hit 3 of these bad boys, followed up with the Goring Blade combo, and you should conclude your fight or flight window. As the last Goring Blade hits, your fight or flight will fall off, which means it's time for the Requiescat combo. As you're waiting for GCDs to catch up, hit Requiescat, and if there will be no animation clipping, meaning that you don't have to wait for the skill to finish executing prior to activating the next GCD, then follow up with Circle of Scorn. This will allow you to have 2 Circle of Scorns and 2 Goring Blades inside the same fight or flight window, meaning that you have increased potency. You will then hit 3 to 4 Holy Spirits, weaving a Spirits Within off GCD, followed by more Spirits all the way up until you have your last 2,000 MP points left. This will be used for the new ability called Confiteor. Confiteor is an AoE ability based off of a specific target. It reminds me of Stasis Sword. I think it's called in Tactics. Comment on the video if I'm right or wrong. You will want to then perform the Goring Blade combo rotation, keeping that dot up. and then conclude the rotation with Royal Authority and Atomic combos. Note that your fight or flight window will come up again roughly by the second or third atonement, depending on your skill speed. Hold restraint because you'll want to use it for the upcoring Goring Blade, thus starting the whole rotation over. The reason why you want to wait is because the Goring Blade dot, as well as the Circle of Scorn dot, benefits from the buff modifier coming from fight or flight. This is why it's highly favorable to apply those dots within the window when applicable. Now, after all that being said, big disclaimer here. When discussing rotations for Paladin, it's imperative that I let you know that doing the rotation in Savage or high-end content isn't so much the issue, but rather the components revolving around the fight itself that could prevent you from executing it. There will be times where you will not have uptime on the boss, meaning there's a cutscene like in the majority of the current in-game bosses. They have a downtime period where you'll be doing something else. It's important that your rotation is optimized to fit in the fight. For example, when doing the previously mentioned rotation in Eden's Gate first Savage raid, the boss will teleport and perform a mechanic that if not dodged will ultimately kill you. What I've done instead of doing the normal rotation is I stopped after the first atonement and performed the Goring Blade rotation right as he teleports to the center of the arena to perform the mechanic that I was talking about leading into my Requiescat combo. Here's a clip of what I'm referring to. Okay, I'm actually ahead of my rotation a little bit more than what I was expecting. Pog you? Maybe? Kappa? No, definitely off a little bit. Oh, I got another one off. No, I didn't. Rip. And then just touch me. In summary, keeping the uptime is important while maintaining the responsibilities of performing mechanics. Use off GCDs on cooldown while not clipping GCDs. Optimize the rotation to fit the uptime allowed by the specific fight. And most importantly, don't forget to have fun while conquering the fights. Want to see me do some of the things we talked about live while jamming out the Ascended Knights way? Then check out my live stream at twitch.tv/SoulSaint. Link is in the description below. And I look forward to seeing you in the next battle. See you later.
DPS, CPS, CPS. Everyone DPS, this is it. This is it.
Nice job, guys.
It's not there yet.
Let's go!